Welcome, everybody, to the regular Board of Trustee meeting for Tuesday, March 25th, 2025. Is there a motion to open tonight's meeting? Trustee Sullivan, second. Trustee Rosen Asher, all in favor. Meeting is hereby open. You'll notice that we have a quorum in person. We have Trustee Rosenberg appearing virtually due to special circumstances. Extraordinary circumstances. And Trustee Patino is excused for tonight's meeting. Can we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody, to Dobbs Ferry. I don't know how many people live here or don't live here, but everyone is welcome to Dobbs Ferry. We're going to do appointments tonight, which is always a very special thing. So before I can even do the appointment, I need a motion. So is there a motion to appoint Kelly Conklin as police officer in the village of Dobbs Ferry? Trustee Sullivan, second. Trustee Galen, all in favor. That passes unanimously. Congratulations. You're here. Now comes the hard part. Before I administer the oath, I'm just going to read a little bit about Kelly. Kelly began her law enforcement career with the City of Middletown Police Department in 2018. She spent her career assigned to the Patrol Division, responding to emergency calls for service and assisting her community in their times of need. Kelly Conklin has successfully completed all the standardized screening requirements, including an extensive background investigation, which included a medical screening. I have a memo here from the chief who's recommending that we appoint Kelly, in which we did. Now, would you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and to carry out the duties of police officer of the Village of Dobbs Ferry to the best of your ability? Yeah. Congratulations. Who would you like to come on up and pin this on you? Okay. Congratulations. I have it out already, but I think good luck.
The tough part.
Yes.
Should have told them ahead of time so we could practice. The chief refuses to get involved.
This is the test.
Those uniforms are good, tough material.
Story you can tell.
Take two.
We just have it hang there, so. There. It's good enough for me.
I just want to thank everybody, thank the chief and the board for appointing me. I promise to do my best to make the village proud. I'm very excited to be here, very happy for a new start and new beginnings.
Great, great. Welcome
Thank you.
again.
Good to see a woman.
Officer Conklin, congratulations. Look pretty forward.
I love it.
Forward to working with you.
Picture with you and your family, and call them up here if you like. And Margaret will take a picture, show the photographer. Which does not come with any
Official?
salary. You guys want to?
Do bunny ears? Bunny ears. That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Just family. Just hide.
When does she start? Tomorrow?
12:01 a.m.
I saw 005 hours on that.
Medicals came in like last night. That's why it's separate.
That's awesome.
Yep. Well done.
You guys could all leave if you'd like, or you could stay to the bitter end. It's up to you. I'd recommend now's the time to go.
If you can leave, I recommend leaving. Sherry.
Shari can leave if she could. If she could.
Exactly.
Are you offering?
Whatever.
That extends this side, I think?
To leave at 6. Oh, poor. Okay.
Okay, appointment number 2. We'd like to, is there a motion to appoint Nicholas Zeos as a volunteer firefighter for the Dobbs Ferry Fire Department? Trustee Galen, trustee Nell, seem to be closer, or I'm not used to you on the right side. All in favor? That passes unanimously. We want to thank Nick for volunteering. We appreciate all volunteers for the village, but especially our volunteer firefighters, emergency services, ambulance corps. We appreciate everyone who does risk their lives for us, so thank you very much for volunteering. Next would be courtesy of the floor. Is anybody here to speak to courtesy of the floor? Come on up. Come on up. You can do one at a time. Go to the mic.
Use the mic, yeah.
When you go up there, you have 3 minutes, and if you tell us, you can turn the mic around. Tell us your name and your.
My name's
where do you
Sam
live?
Giorgio, raised on 28 Southfield Avenue. I have a problem, water problem, when it rains from the building on top of, what is it? Ramsey Road there. They had those building apartments, and I came in a few times into court here, and now they tell me that there is nothing they can do. I have to get a lawyer and whatever it is, which the village told me that they were gonna subpoena the guy, the builder himself.
So just so I'm clear, you had a court date across the way,
They were here,
and it didn't resolve, and now you're here for.
and they said they did something, but now whatever they did, it's even worse. I have a lava coming into my back, my house and onto the patio.
Okay, so our building department's been involved with this?
Yeah,
Okay,
up
so,
in the
Rob,
apartments.
our village administrator will take your information.
Okay.
We'll talk to the building inspector, and then he can talk to us, and we can see what can be done. If
Okay,
you
well
could
then-
give him your contact information and explain, do you want to explain, I mean, I don't know anything about engineering, none of us are engineers.
Okay,
You're
well-
saying there's a water problem.
Right, what happened, every time it rains, I have a lava where my people that live upstairs, they can't even use the stairs because the water comes down into a lava. So they got the videos, they got pictures and everything else. So they got in touch with, I guess he's the supervisor of buildings up there, the apartments, and they got him here into court, and they told him that he has to do something about it, and he said he did some. But whatever he did, they said he put a drainage tank underground, but that is worse than what it was before. So I brought the inspector back up there.
Our inspector.
Our inspector, yes. And they brought up, he came up there and he saw that the water, water from the tank that they ever put in there, it's like a surging from underneath. And even after the rain stops, the water still comes down. So something is draining in there from whatever or what it's doing, and it has. So when the inspector came in the third time,
Our
look,
inspector.
your inspector came the third time, and he looked at it. He tried to convince you that whatever over here was, and they told him that he should stay out of it because he wasn't there when the building was built, which was Cook, the Inspector Cook that was the inspector then.
Okay.
So they told him to stay out of it, that's not his business and everything else. So he told me to get a lawyer. But my lawyer that I went to, he said, who am I going after? Am I going to a village or am I going to the private builder?
Okay. So our village administrator will
Right.
talk
All
to,
I want to know is who I got to go to.
Right.
That's my question.
he'll take care of it.
Yeah,
So
I'll need to know more information. I'll be happy to talk to you.
why don't you go over to him, go over to him now.
I'm done tonight.
Yeah, just give me a call and we'll talk more. Anytime. Always respond. Okay?
Okay.
Appreciate it. Pleasure meeting.
I want you to, somebody to.
We'll take care of it. Thank you. You want to say anything? Come on up.
Hi, I'm Michelle Spiniello. I'm Sam's neighbor. I just want to add to what he said. Also, when the water comes down the hill, there are steps, and he has a tenant, and it comes out onto the
Where
sidewalk.
is this exactly?
So I live on 29 Southfield. He's 28 across the street from me. We live near the Scaramella's, little mini mall over there, that restaurant. It is an unsafe situation because when it rains heavy, a lot of water comes down onto the sidewalk. So that's his issue. I came because I also want to raise awareness of some other things that are going on Southfield that we need help with. So the first thing is the Scaramella's mini mall area. They never send their landscaper. They don't shovel snow. They don't clean garbage. They don't trim their hedges, which from time to time, poison ivy does grow there. I have taken them to court a couple of times. I have spoken to Dan Romer about it. I really need to know how I can maybe escalate it. I would like to see them at least come once a month to check their property, make sure the garbage is clean, make sure, the sidewalks are being kept up. They don't do it, and I try to be nice to call the landlord and say, can you please send someone? But it's never consistent, so.
So and Dan or somebody from the village has gone there, and have they written citations, do you
They
know?
have written citations. The most recent, I came in and I complained to Dan when they didn't shovel their sidewalk when we had snow, because a lot of people walk back and forth there. It's a mall, after all, right? And he did something which the next day they had someone there. But again, it's not consistent and it's upsetting. It looks terrible. It's very dirty. So if we can do something about that, I'm happy to do that.
Okay, well, Rob and Dan will take a look at it. Does the landlord live there, or he doesn't live in the?
He owns the whole mall. I think he may have some interest in the restaurant, but I don't see him ever.
Okay.
So it's a realty company number that I call, but I have no contact with him at all. The other issue is 50 Southfield, which is the abandoned house on Southfield. We know that that's in the courts. Apparently, it's stuck in the courts. It was supposed to be taken down because it's in terrible shape. It's full of mold. It's full of raccoons, rats, vermin, anything. It's all living in there. So I can't, that's another thing. I can't get any information from Dan Romer on what's happening. He told me last August it was supposed to be demolished. And that didn't happen because apparently when the company came back to reassess, it was in worse shape than they thought, so they had to go back to court. So that's the last that I know. But I will say that it could fall down any day, and I think it's a hazard to the community because it's infested with rodents. So
It's a public nuisance, and so.
it is.
In order, but
Oh.
that's a legal term. And
Yes.
in order to receive permission and classification as public nuisance, you're required to make a filing with the Supreme Court. In other words, their property rights have to be removed from the owner of the property. So
Okay.
it is winding its way. It came to the local court, and that judge determined it was an appropriate filing to make, and now it needs to go to New York State Court. Supreme Court.
So is there
It's
any-
presently in the Supreme Court right now.
That's what I understand from Dan, but is there anything we can do to expedite it? Can we talk to Mary Jane Shimsky or something? Because,
It's
You
an
could.
independent, the judicial system is independent of the legislative. There's,
okay,
yeah, it's a separate entity, and I just drafted a text to my colleague, Dan Posen, who's the prosecutor on this, and he's going to check on the information and see if we can
okay,
get
that
a.
would be helpful. I mean,
Why don't you
there
give-
is a bus stop right there, too.
Do if you want, is when they have a court appearance on it, you can go to the court in, in support of the prosecution of it.
Okay, and how can I find out when that is?
It's usually, it's on the filing at the Supreme Court, so we can, again, if you can keep in touch and we can get you the dates. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
I'd be happy to do
Westchester
that.
County, New York State Supreme Court.
Could you give, if you like to give Rob your contact information, or he'll give you his card, and you could just shoot him an email, and then he could have your contact information from there.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Come on up. Yeah, we're ready. You can turn it around, Alan, so,
Whatever you want.
there you go.
Alan Harris, 39 Rochambeau Avenue. So first of all, because the issue of Park Mobile came up, I just want to give a unofficial public service announcement, and that is that emails are being sent by a fraudster in the name of Park Mobile. I got one today.
one too.
So the entire community, if you get emails from Park Mobile and they're saying, you got to contact us because your account's been suspended, be sure that it's them before you reply to that email, because there's an active.
And then we could put that in our newsletter or maybe on the
Terrific.
website.
They did send a follow-up that said disregard the previous email.
Oh,
So I got
okay.
that
I didn't
also.
get that, but,
Yeah, it was-
okay.
it was-
Send that to the Consumer
I
Protection.
got it today also.
Office, too.
Right, exactly. And the second thing I wanted to say was that, just going to the Washington Avenue issue, is that I did not appear as a neighbor. I live on Rochambeau Avenue. I don't live anywhere near that street. I was at this microphone when the village wanted to cut down trees that were over 100 years old to put an artificial field. I spoke on behalf of the trees. They wanted to cut them down behind the aqueduct. I made very clear when I spoke the first time, I'm representing the trees. I'm representing the creatures in the trees, and I'm representing the creatures in the soil under the trees. So that's who I'm advocating on behalf of. And the final thing that I'm going to say is that I may be the only person in this country that this week my faith in government was restored. So thank you for what you did.
Take it out.
I'll take it.
Because
Can you repeat that?
We did that?
Patty?
Could you sign this? You're welcome.
Patty Steinschneider, 320 on Broadway. Not far from what Alan just said. Thank you very much for giving that consideration to it. And Jess, I think you nailed it. I think if we had the right stuff at the right time, I don't think we would have gone through all the confusion. I think that's something we should try and get better at. And that it surprises me, because when in the private sector, we would have had to do a whole bunch of testing. We would have had to dig a test pit on the other side of the street to determine where the rock was, which is going to be what determines what kind of wall and how high the wall is. It's interesting to me that none of that's been done, and they've got prices and all this, and fairly significant amount of money. The wall they're building is not a very big wall. It's not a very expensive wall. It's $34,000 more after they deduct for the trees, because the trees were expensive.
Yeah.
So it would be good to take a look at that math and make sure that they've done the deductions and that it's fair pricing.
Okay.
Thank you. Oh, and Saturday, everybody, great party taking place down at the Embassy Center. From 10 until 3, come down, talk about the village, talk about what you're interested in seeing happen in the village, what you love about Dobbs, what you think could be better.
Flash mob?
Flash mob, yes. There'll be bands, it'll be great.
Non-planning committee's doing a flash
Yeah.
mob.
And just for the record, I think Patty was talking about the Saturday event for the Vision Complan public meeting.
That's right.
The party, there's a real party. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Yair Rosenkranz, on 120 Belden Avenue. And first of all, thank you for the consideration. Thank you for taking the section or sketch that we prepared to the next level. Thank you for all the effort, and it's really appreciated. I second Patty's comment on the bidding process. I think could be improved. Also, the process of assessment could be improved along, for the next public project. And also, I'm defending the trees, not only the neighborhood, and we are all neighbors, and try to enjoy this city and this village. And that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You want to come up?
Very specific.
Good evening, Roxana Klein Rosenkranz, 120 Belden. Just to add a little bit more about the sidewalk and the improvements, just in thinking about that additional cost when I saw the breakdown, just to take it into consideration as to how that would play out in terms of the problems that removing all those trees could create in the short term. Please take that into consideration because it would probably be negligible compared to the very short-term water issues in particular that this could bring on to the entire street. So thank you so much to all of you.
Thank you. Anybody here else for courtesy of the floor? Anybody online? Okay. First action item is there a motion to accept the resignation of Hiba Haber from the Human Rights and Diversity Committee? Trustee Rosen Asher, second. Trustee Nell, all in favor? That passed unanimously. We're sorry to see her go. I know she had, I think, a change in her schedule, or something came up and she had to resign.
We thank her for her contribution and everything
Certainly
that she
do.
did for the committee.
Yes, I had a nice conversation with her before, and I thought she was a good addition, so hopefully she'll stay active on some level, so thank you. Action item number 2,
Tabling.
I'm tabling. Why am I
Did you
tabling?
get the information you needed about the training?
We did.
We
Oh,
did
great. Moving on.
Right.
Fishing.
It's a fishing training
Email
session,
fishing.
which is very important.
Interesting people.
So is there a motion to authorize the village administrator to execute contracts for information technology support services? Trustee Galen, second trustee Sullivan, all in favor? That passes unanimously. Action item number 3 is a resolution to enter into a contract with Phoenicia Flea. So maybe, maybe the trustee Nell or trustee Galen want to talk a little bit about Phoenicia Flea?
Sure. So this will be the third year,
The fourth.
fourth?
Really? I think it's the third.
I think
I
it's
thought it was
third.
the
It's
fourth.
third.
Okay, either one.
have
Third or
not missed
fourth.
We've done this before.
Okay.
Year that we're having Phoenicia Fleet come. So they're a private itinerant flea market, but sort of celebrating local makers from the Hudson Valley. We are the only municipality that they work with, which is a really cool opportunity for us. And we get a beneficial rate for contracting with them as a result of being a municipality, as opposed to usually they pop up in hotels and more for-profit contexts. We've had great success with them over the last few years. They've brought tremendous diversity of different Hudson Valley craftspeople and producers to the waterfront park. We do it on the same day as the River Arts Music Tour, which brings even more people to the main stage. We already partner with River Arts. River Arts is thrilled to have Phoenicia Flea back. The Flea is thrilled to be doing it on the same day as the River Arts Tour. And for a very minimal fee, we get this fabulous event that has regional recognition popping up on our own waterfront park. So I think it's a great partnership, and we just want to roll back and do it again.
Okay, and the event this year is on June 14th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. So,
And the itemized waiving of fees are in the resolution. They include the park rental fee, the peddler's permit fees, and the village is assuming responsibility for all costs associated with rec department, DPW, and police department staffing on the day of the event.
okay, so is there a motion to authorize a pop-up artisan market at Waterfront Park and to enter into a contract with Phoenicia Flea for services in connection with the event, granting waiver of park and individual vendor fees? Trustee Rosen Asher, second. Trustee Galen, all in favor? That passes unanimously. We're looking forward to that. Hope it doesn't rain.
There's a rain date
There is a rain date.
of June 15th, as is River Arts rain date, June 15th.
Action item number 4 is to consider a resolution to authorize execution of a contract with Wickers Creek Market. Does someone want to talk a little bit about Wickers Creek Market? You go.
I'll go. Vickers Creek Market, we've been talking to Pascal, who is the person who produces the Hastings and the Irvington Farmers Markets for some years now, since I was on the board before, trying to figure out if we could have a farmer's market in Dobbs. And she proposed that we should try something different to offer something that the other neighboring villages don't have. And she has wanted to produce this vintage and antiques market. And we thought that was a great option. So she is doing 4 markets this year at our waterfront park. And hopefully we're going to attract a bunch of people to our downtown and waterfront area to shop some vintage treasures.
And she's partnering with another local business owner who is an estate sale expert and also an antique and vintage furnishings dealer. So there's a lot of expertise on the team.
And the dates of those events will be April 27th, June 22nd, August 5th, and November 9th. Well, rain dates after those dates will be
It's
out.
going to be like Antiques Roadshow where I could bring a ring and they can tell
I
me
think they
that.
want to, they
someone
were
in the
talking
Civil
about having
War-
that there.
That'd be
so,
really cool.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, you can put in a request, Sherry.
Is there a motion to authorize the village?
Wait, I'm sorry, just for the dates, is it October,
5th.
is it still 5th? That's still the date?
Didn't I say that or no?
Well, you said August, but B, I wasn't sure if that was still the date that was on the table. Yes, okay, so that's the date
Yes.
after
So no market in July and August.
Festa.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we have to use our rain date, they will use their rain date.
Got it. Okay, so is there a motion to authorize this, enter into a contract? Trustee Nell, second. Trustee Rosen Asher, all in favor? That passes unanimously. So while we're talking about that, let's talk about the item that was on the agenda for the workshop, which was the recreation event dates. So I have here all the, God bless you.
Thank you.
I have a listing of all the dates. Am I supposed to just read these out loud for the bill? I mean,
I think it was just for us to know and see them all together.
Okay.
But we can put them all maybe in the newsletter.
sure.
This is great to have this all in one thing.
Yeah. And then, yeah, we can discuss whether or not to put these on the calendar.
I think they should go on the.
Yeah, let's talk about that now. So I know, Margaret,
I've said this many times.
a few years ago, we had decided, I guess I had just decided, right? That we were going to do official events, from the Dobbs Ferry events, like committees and board meetings. But I think it would be better if we have these type of events on the calendar, so we could all look at one place and put them on the calendar.
So if we put them all on the calendar, they can't differentiate. Front calendar on the front page will be everything, which means all the government things will come to the surface.
Okay, so the government ones will be on a particular day we're talking about, right?
Right, but then we'll have a million.
But these things are usually on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we don't usually have village board meetings on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
The jazz concerts are
But
Wednesdays.
there's only a certain amount, I mean, we can do it. but
There's no board
we'll
meetings on
schedule it
Wednesdays,
in.
actually.
There's only a certain amount that can be viewed.
Can't you add a community calendar?
We can,
Yeah, we can do that too.
Couldn't they be color coded so that, you know, if it's.
Orly had a good idea. Why can't we add a community calendar for community events?
So there's a separate calendar on Kendra's page, but Civic Plus.
There's
will
an
be
existing
on the
rec-
calendar. So the calendar on the front page, everything feeds it.
So can we see how much more it would cost?
Have it up.
Can we see how much more it would cost from Civic Plus to add a separate calendar?
I don't think it's an option.
I think it would be helpful for residents to be able to see everything that's going on. It'd also be helpful for us too, to just know, because sometimes I go to the calendar and there isn't something there that I think is going on, and then it gets confusing to me. So it's great that we have a document, and I already put some of these in my personal phone already, but it would be good, so we can point people to the website to say, you know, here's more information, and then they could just click it and get to whatever the information is, so.
How about, we have, we've been working as, in the comm subcommittee on policies for how to get out information and stuff like that. And, because I think this is a bigger thing than just asking Margaret to just do it, because it's not just doable. It's like a bigger change, and it involves like whatever we want to do differently with the website. And so if this is part of the things that we want them to work on and adjust in terms of how the website works and newsletter and everything, then it can be part of those things, and then they can figure out how to do it as a packaged thing, because
Okay.
it's not really a one-off solution,
Okay,
right?
so if it's not a one-off solution, we'll leave it the way it is for now, and then the subcommittee can
And
come
also it
back.
could go in the newsletter.
Oh, yeah, we'll put it on the.
But we can still publish it, it's just the calendar online. I
Right.
don't know that it's
No,
that.
people go onto the website to see what's going on in the community, and then they
Correct.
can't see it. It's kind of hard to find unless
Yes.
you know how to navigate our website. That's the point.
I'm personally fine with having it all on that front calendar, but we can talk about it later.
Yeah, and we could also see what that looks like,
Yeah.
things of that nature.
If it doesn't fit on the calendar, maybe we can just put it in text or something, hey, revert to this, so you can actually see, so it's not on the calendar, it's in the list.
Okay, so the intent is to put it all in one place, but for the meantime, we'll put this up on our website, and we'll put it in the newsletter. We'll keep putting it in the newsletter. Okay. Anything else from, that would concern rec on this? No? Okay. Okay, the next item, I don't need we already did that resolution. Okay, so the next item would be the retaining of the special counsel. So as way of background, and I think maybe Shari alluded to it earlier, the Con Edison has proposed a very large rate hike for the Public Service Commission that frankly really shocks the conscience of many people. And they're scheduled to have a number of public service commissions meetings. And in the past, people of Westchester, the villages, really haven't had much of a say or much of a role to play in that. Most of it, you know, we know that Con Edison is basically a New York City servicing agent, and Westchester doesn't play as much of a role as New York. So the Westchester Municipal Officers Officials Association has suggested that we all pool and contribute to hiring a lawyer who would represent Westchester's interests when these meetings going on, when these discussions going on, when the Con Ed is meeting with the public in the commission, and we'd be able to really have someone on our side who's at the table, who can drill down and stand up and represent us. So the thought is that we would contribute $5,000 to this. I think the price is going to go down as more municipalities sign up. Our contribution drops. I believe we already have 20, I think they said at the last meeting.
I think they said 20,
right?
but they're getting more, but
They're up to
it will
28.
help all of
28.
Westchester.
Including the town.
28, okay.
The town is including too.
Okay.
so.
Okay.
So as more.
28 that have already passed the resolution.
Right, so the more that join on, the price will drop. So this is our effort to join that effort. So any other questions or comments before we move forward on this?
This really, I mean, I'd just like to say that this really helps to give Westchester a seat at the table, and we'll have strength in numbers from, doing this all together, and it's a minimal investment on our part to have a voice in this very important thing. And there's Westchester signed on, Westchester County signed on, the county executive mentioned it, and really State Senator Shelley Mayer has really been leading the charge on this, so if anyone wants to find out more information, I suggest they look at all the things that she's done, issued, and said about this.
Can I ask who's going to be a party to the engagement letter?
Yeah, they said the city of Rye, I think it was, or Rye Brook?
It's Rybrook is actually taking the
Rybrook.
leads.
Yeah.
So Rybrook will be engaging
Right.
for a not to exceed amount of 100, and we'll be sending our contribution depending on this. Okay.
Yes.
It's just not clear from this who's the client, so thank you for that.
They made a presentation to us at Wamoa last week.
Right, it's just, this is a standard resolution that was sent out to everybody to use, and I did follow it up with some questions, one of which was what letter engagement is.
Actually, it does say at the bottom, the village of Rybrook shall coordinate the payment, so.
So, okay, coordinate the payment is a little different than engaging as a client, so I just want to that we're clear. There is a letter, engagement letter, as you know, which is required under the standards of the profession.
Yes.
So, thank you.
So is there a motion to authorize the retaining of Joel Dichter of Dichter Law as special counsel to represent participating Westchester municipalities in Con Edison's electric and gas rate case before the Public Service Commission? Trustee Rosen Asher, second trustee Nell, all in favor. That passes unanimously. Action item number 6. We have discussed the approval of the cost for the Washington Avenue sidewalk project in a workshop session. We've heard from the residents and people who live in Dobbs Ferry, so I'm not sure this needs any further discussion. So is there a motion to approve an increase in cost for the Washington Avenue sidewalk project? Trustee Rosen Asher, second trustee Galen, all in favor? That passes
Is a motion
unanimously.
to pass it or
Yeah.
to, no, I'm voting against it. I don't want to
Okay.
go for it.
Okay, so let's just go back then. We had a motion made by trustee Rosen Asher. We had seconded by trustee Galen. All in favor is 5. All against? 1. Okay, motion passes 5-1. Action item number 7 is we've received a donation from the Dobbs Ferry Youth Little League for a scoreboard, and they have bought the scoreboard and they are donating it to the village, so we have to make that formal. So is there a resolution to accept a donation from the Dobbs Ferry Youth Little League covering the purchase and installation of a new scoreboard adjacent to the baseball field at Memorial Park? Trustee Sullivan, second trustee Rosen Asher, all in favor. That passes unanimously, and we want to thank the Dobbs Ferry Little League. The value of the scoreboard is $11,183. We want to thank all the people who contributed to the cost of the scoreboard. Next action item is action item number 8, and I think we had a question is, I guess we couldn't wrap this all into one resolution, right?
No.
Yeah, no, we tried to, and again, any little bit of efficiency savings is good, but this is
A
just,
higher floor. like
yeah, this is,
important to have
it's
to-
just the proper thing to do.
Yeah.
So,
Seems so-
just as a way of background, the village officials, meaning in the Rivertown, meaning Dobbs Ferry, Hastings, Irvington, Tarrytown, Sleepy Hollow, and Elmsford, we meet once a month. Did I miss? I forgot Ardsley. Uh-oh. I forgot Ardsley.
Don't tell Nancy.
So,
Liz already texted her and told her.
so we all meet once a month, the village administrators and the village mayors, to discuss interests that pertain to the river towns. And each month we rotate the location of it. And last month it was held here in Dobbs Ferry at Village Hall. and we decided to do a little taste of Dobbs Ferry. Margaret did all the heavy lifting and running around and ran to every place in Dobbs Ferry, including Stop and Shop, and carried all this stuff in, which we appreciate her doing. And some of the stores donated their food. So the first item is to accept a donation of a cheesecake, which is valued at $70 from the Dobbs Ferry Diner.
Was it a single cheesecake? That's what I want to
know.
know. Was it one
It was
$7
a,
cheesecake?
it was a big cheesecake. I did not taste it.
One
It was
cheesecake?
big
Was
cheesecake.
Wow.
Have a lot of discussion on it.
Let's not, yeah, let's,
Just to.
So,
Junior's
On a per slice basis, that makes total sense.
so is there a motion to accept the donation from the Dobbs Ferry Diner in the amount of $70? Trustee Rosen-Asher, second. Trustee Sullivan, all in favor. That passes unanimously, and we thank them for that.
You revote.
is it cherry or strawberry?
I didn't get to eat it, so.
I just saw it, I didn't even eat it. Next item is the same situation.
More.
Same situation.
Going.
The Sweet and Savory shop donated a tray of various flavored smoothies, which were valued at $40.
Their smoothies are
They were-
expensive. Like, I have to say, like, that seems
That
low
was
to
a
me.
big hit, I have to say.
Very
Most of
good.
the people who tasted it loved it.
Yeah,
So
they're
we want to
delicious.
thank the Sweet and Savory for the donation. And is there a motion to accept the donation from the Sweet and Savory shop in the amount of $40? Trustee Nell, second. Trustee Galen, all in favor. That passed unanimously. We want to thank
So I just have a serious question. So is it, if there's no, like, I know at the county, there's like a $75, like, you can't accept anything
As an
that's more
individual.
than $75, but like, do we always have to, like, if someone buys us all Hershey bars, like, is that something we have to put into a thing? Like,
That's person to person.
She's wondering, is there a level below which it wouldn't be?
Donations, no.
No.
Yeah, because, well, once the budget's approved, any dollar above that is a donation, whether it's a refrigerator valued at something, food valued at something, it's not person to person.
Right.
But she's saying that as a village.
no, I'm just saying, is there an
As an
amount
individual.
where if someone
No.
donates something, but it's under
Jeff says
$100, we're,
No, it's
Jeff
different,
says
it's
no.
a little different.
no,
No.
okay.
Yeah, and just so we're clear, the invoices were presented with each of the Taste of Dobbs Ferry menu items. And when poor Margaret went to get W-9 forms so they could become a vendor and we could pay them,
Right.
it was at that point that they
That they
said, we'd
said, "Oh,
like
we'll
to
just donate
just
it."
donate
Okay.
it. So, but the other people participating in the Taste of Dobbs Ferry menu items accepted payment.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So it's just
It's
Dobbs
just
Ferry
these
Diner
two,
and
yeah.
Save
I was
Sweet.
hoping they were just gonna trickle out over the next few
We're,
meetings.
we're not permitted to solicit donations, but if they opt for that, Margaret was correct in bringing these forward just to acknowledge that
Okay.
going forward.
So if somebody donated, never mind.
Okay.
So next items are really just budget line items. Jeff, you want to, well, let's just make the motion. So is there a motion to authorize the fire department budget line transfers as outlined in the motion itself? Trustee Nell, second. Trustee Rosen-Asher. Before we vote, Jeff, can you just explain what's going on here?
So the fire department is looking to transfer to make some purchases. Let's see what we're talking about.
Yeah, they're going to go from an inspection to a uniform, from
Uniforms,
building
some
maintenance.
Contracts and protective gear.
Okay, so this is just a routine thing where they're
Yep.
using stuff that was budgeted for one thing, using it for something else.
Correct.
No lump sum gain, so zero.
Okay, so
Same pie.
is there, all in favor?
You're talking food.
All in favor? All against? That passes unanimously. Same thing seems true for the police department where they're doing really a budget line transfer, right?
Yeah, that one's a little different because there was a salary line that wasn't necessary because the individual is deployed. So it was a salary line assigned to an individual that the chief would like to reassign in order to cover the costs of some again, safety equipment and radios. And I'm speaking for you, but he's nodding. He's nodding. He called me, we worked this out, so
Okay.
that's what this is.
So is there a motion to authorize the police department budget line transfer for equipment purchase? Trustee Rosen Asher, second trustee Nell, all in favor? Matt? Thank you. Passes unanimously. Action item number 12. Is there a motion to authorize the village administrator to execute and submit the annual MS4 stormwater report to the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation? Is there a motion? Trustee Sullivan, second trustee Galen, all in favor? That passes unanimously. Come on, people. We're almost there.
We're here. I'm fully bound to voting yes. Right here. Yes, along.
I didn't hear what you said.
That's funny.
Is there a motion to approve the audit of claims as submitted and recommended by the village treasurer? Trustee Rosen Asher.
Well, is there anything we need to know? Okay. Now.
Yeah, standard.
Trustee Rosen Asher, second trustee Nell, all in favor. That passes unanimously. We made it. Is trustee liaison reports? Trustee Galen.
I don't believe I have.
Trustee Sullivan.
I don't have any.
Trustee Rosen Asher.
I actually don't have anything.
Trustee Nell.
No.
Trustee Rosenberg.
I do not.
Okay.
Just reiterate the comp plan open house at the Embassy Center between 10 and 3 on Saturday.
There is an open house to discuss the comprehensive plan, which we do very rarely, and it's very important. So you should come down on Saturday
What's the
at
format
11
of
o'clock.
Between 10 and 3.
Between 10 and 3.
There'll be tables, and there'll be people leading discussion and answering questions at each of the tables for each of the topics involved. And this would be the first chance the public would have to state where their priorities are, and you put your comments on a sticky note. It's a very traditional format to get comments from the public.
We're also going to have, we're going to put New York Forward boards up that we made during Festa, like as an informational little stand as to explain what that is, because people are going to be coming, and it's all part of the same sort of feedback loop that we're trying to get the public to talk to us about a bunch of different things. So we're going to have that there.
Okay, is there anything else you want to raise, Mr. Village Administrator?
It's up to you. I know it's getting late, but I have a quick list of capital projects if you want to run through them.
Definitely want to hear it.
Yes.
It's not late at all.
It's important.
Keep your seatbelts on. I'll be quick. A couple things we already mentioned, but thanks. We agreed to do this on the second meeting every time, and further agreed I'm going to have the department heads come down at least once a month to come down and rotate through the departments and give us updates directly. So I think that'll be a welcome thing just to get a sense of what everybody's doing out there. So from both sides. So thank you for that consideration. We continue to review potential capital projects and plan to utilize long-term debt, state and federal grants, and/or capital reserves to replace or update villages' aging infrastructure, investing in projects including but not limited to working on the 10-year capital plan. We'd like to revisit that because it's come a long way, and we just want to take it to that finish line. It's basically to prioritize projects. I think it'll be a good roadmap. Updating the vision comprehensive plan we just mentioned. The public meeting is Saturday, the 29th, 10 o'clock. Storm sewers throughout the village were completely televised. Every inch of storm sewers was completed. That was $440,000 by Fred Cook. We're awaiting their final report. Same thing with the sanitary sewers throughout the village. The first step is the flow monitoring. We have ADS Environmental for $83,000 starting next month to do the flow monitoring, which is going to actually lead to the televising of all the sanitary sewers so we can get a condition inventory so we can actually plan more capital projects moving forward with less disruptions because we'll know what the breakage is before they happen. So a long time coming, so I'm glad to hear that's moving forward. We have the village retain the services of MTS contracting to perform repairs to the village infrastructure, including storm sewers, storm and sanitary sewers, curbs, sidewalks, and pavement. That's basically a retainer. Instead of bidding out every time you need a sidewalk or a concrete repair or something else, we just go right to them, and we already have a price list, and it's actually taking effect. We already had 6 projects with them, and they're working out very well, so that's very efficient. In terms of GIS, the board approved, thank you, the implementation to digitally map the village's infrastructure using available data from the county and future infrastructure improvements. As I mentioned, we're already loading up all the sanitary sewer stuff and all the available storm sewer stuff. So it's all videotaped, and we're actually getting that condition inventory, one repository on GIS. I think in a couple of weeks, the county's having their annual GIS meeting, and they have the DPW already signed up for free training, in addition to the training that we're going to get from the GIS folks. So thank you for that again. We already had a kickoff meeting, and we're seeking user licenses for the ArcGIS. Phase 1 construction, as you know, Gould Park project was completed, including mitigation of stormwater issues. I don't have to go into that. But Phase 2 of the stormwater mitigation project involves village engineers studying the design for future stormwater conveyance under Gould Park to capture stormwater flow from Maple Street and Pietro Place, leading to a connection to recent upgrades to the stormwater network flowing into the Hudson River. Actually, Mr. and Mrs. Scroops visited my office today, and they were very happy. We're going to meet them in a couple of days to actually do some planting around some of the fences that we put out there, but they were very pleased with the project. Long time coming, so that project is in the ground.
That's a FEMA project, but.
Yeah, that's one of many, yes. The Esterwood Culvert and drainage pipe replacement, it's awarded to Gentile Construction, $370,000. That job is starting in a few weeks. Laura Lee, yeah, the 28th.
The 28th of April.
Right, and so we, Laura Lee, thank you for
remind
the easement
that
agreements and
project
access
is?
agreements.
Can you remind us what that project is?
Yeah, that's a stormwater culvert that also fell into disrepair, and a lot of the folks out there, hundreds of linear feet collapsed, and now their yards basically have a lot of holes in them, just like we had over at Saranac, same kind of problem. So this project is replacing the culvert head wall, bringing it all the way down, redoing the entire system down into the street. So it's a couple hundred linear feet of storm water replacement.
And the head wall being on the campus of Master School. If you can recall, Master School gave permission to update the easement. Once this is in place, Masters will be executing an easement for your benefit.
Thank you.
Thank you. A couple more. The village engineers are studying the design for drainage improvements along Walgrove Avenue. There's only parts of Walgrove that actually have a drainage system, so we're looking into that. The CDBG projects, which I'll mention in a minute, will take care of the curb and sidewalk, whereas the pavement and the storm drains, we're looking into designing those before we actually break ground on those. So they're sending us a proposal to look at. So the engineers are sending us proposals. We can agree to the design, and we can talk about the construction.
Where's that? Walgrove. Oh, Walgrove.
I'm sorry, Walgrove. Again, the CDBG, Community Development Block Grants for 2025, 26, and 27. We applied for them to do some replacement projects again along Walgrove Avenue and Bellwood Avenue, including a separate project for a new senior van. So we're taking advantage of the 50-50 match there. So those projects are moving forward.
You're saying we got those grants?
No, we didn't get them yet. They're
Right, you
still.
applied for those.
We applied for them. Right.
When do we hear about them?
I'm going to contact the county. I'm not sure exactly when it's available, but they were applied for. They were accepted as eligible. So that's the first leg, and then I'll let you know when they're making a decision. Happy to report also on the CDBG from years ago, the new spray pad at Memorial Park. The Abbott and Price got a $498,000 contract to install that. That was from the previous CDBG grants from 2022, I want to say, or maybe 2021. But anyway, it's finally starting this spring, so that'll be out this year as well. 60 electric vehicle charging stations are
When you
expected.
say that'll be out, you mean it'll be in the ground and operational for the summer?
Yeah, we had the final design, we bid it out. Abbott and Price was the lowest qualified bidder. So now we're just, we got the Department of Health approval for the backflow preventers, and that job is actually, breaking ground.
When do you expect it to start?
Breaking ground in a couple of weeks.
Oh, great. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, hopefully this summer we'll be out there, but hopefully, I don't know how long the job will take, but it'll be done this year.
Great.
Let's see, 60 electric vehicles charging stations are expected to be installed this summer. I know it's been pushed back a couple of times for a number of reasons, but they're using the latest technology, so we'll be able to put those in at the different locations around the village. If you want, I can mention the waterfront, the Village Hall, Main and Cedar, and 99 Cedar, for a total of 60 electric vehicle charging stations. Electric bicycles, the e-bikes, will be available village-wide under a current Project Mover project. We're trying to get that this summer. There's some contractual things we're working on. And also the demo that they want to come out and actually show us what the rack of bicycles will look like, the actual bicycles. So that's forthcoming too, so we're trying to work that out as well. So that contract is moving forward. High Street Bridge Restoration Project received a $2 million appropriation from the State Assembly for the rehab of the bridge structure. So the engineers sent us a proposal to actually take a look at that as well. So that'll probably be on a future board resolution to approve
Can we
the,
put that on the next Board of Resolution?
yes.
So I think we gotta move along.
I think that was the Assembly and the Senate, though, just, it was from both of them.
It was,
No, I think it was from.
Yeah, there was a senator there,
the
too.
speaker,
Oh, no.
Yeah.
well, there's the speaker and the assembly.
I know.
No, there was somebody else that came.
I don't think so. I know, I was speaking to Assemblywoman Chimsky, and she was asking me about this project, so if we could put it on, that'd be great, because there may be a little concern about money, or whatever, so let's put it on.
Right now the money is available,
Right.
and the engineer sent us a proposal a couple days ago, so we should take a look at that. The retaining wall at Palisade Street is under study by design of the village engineers to remediate a structural condition. Again, we'll put that on for the next meeting too. There's a lot of proposals coming up, a lot of capital work that's being undertaken and proposed, so we should put that on as well. That job has to get done, it's only getting worse. Sustainable Dobbs helped secure multiple grants and reaffirmed its leadership in sustainability, earning Silver Climate Smart Community certification, one of only 17 in New York State. The village also secured over $457,000 in clean energy community CEC grants, funding major environmental initiatives, including solar energy expansion, sustainable waste management, energy efficiency upgrades, infrastructure improvements, community engagement, and green economic initiatives. The village was awarded the coveted New York Forward Grant, which we spoke about, $4.5 million for downtown revitalization projects, so that's moving forward. As we mentioned at the workshop, kickoffs was held, and we're meeting with the state, the DOS often. So more to come on that. The village was awarded the downtown dig grant, of course, $50,000 for storefront facades, wayfinding, $100,000 for design, and the tree well standardization, $150,000. So we're getting quotes on that too, so I'll be happy to report a couple of things are actually taking hold. And lastly, I'm almost done. New York DOT is leading the complete street feasibility study along Route 9 corridor that traverses the length of the village. The last public hearing was held a couple of months back. The next one is, they're setting up for June 5th. And then again, it's typical public meeting, preliminary design studies.
Rob, that looks like it's moving to June 4th.
Yeah, I saw some of the emails. It's back and forth, and yeah, it's either the 4th or the 5th at this point. But we had it down as the 5th, but it could move to the 4th. So they're looking at the preliminary engineering studies, speed calming measures, possible roundabouts, raised intersections, signage, signalization, roadway striping, pedestrian, bicycle, and vehicular safety improvements. I'm sure there's a couple more projects that I'm forgetting, but there's a large list of things that are moving forward.
That's great, I appreciate that. That's very helpful to do that on a regular basis. Maybe we could put some of that on our website and the newsletter so we could show what we have done. I know some of them take years and years and years to happen, but at least we could show that there's been some movement being done.
And Mr. Mayor, I believe the treasurer has something he'd like to add to the agenda.
Yeah, we need to schedule
We're
the
missing a public hearing resolution
hearing
for your
the
budget.
So we should do that today?
Yeah, because
Okay,
it'd be
so
the
when am I-
next meeting.
When am I scheduling it for?
The first meeting in April, April 8th.
Okay, so is there a motion to add to today's agenda a resolution to schedule a public hearing to address the budget for 2025 through 2026 for April 8th, 2025 at 7:30 at Village Hall? Is there a motion to add that? Trustee Nell, second trustee Rosen Asher, all in favor. That motion is now added to the agenda. Now, is there a motion to schedule a public hearing for April 8th, 2025 at 7:30 to address the proposed budget for 2025 through 2026? Trustee Sullivan, second trustee Galen, all in favor. That passes unanimously. Boy, I did that well, didn't I?
Nice.
That was
Wow.
straightforward.
It was like
Very
you
smooth,
were
man.
like channeling
Validation.
something. The last year and you're finally got it. Only takes
Wow.
5.5 years.
All right, we'll see how easy it is.
Yes, good job.
Right?
No judgment.
How easy it is.
I've done it a couple times. It was pretty easy.
Okay. Wow.
No, I'll be serious. Liz helped me a lot when I did it.
Yeah, I know when
Liz wrote it out for me.
Liz writes it out like a script for other people.
She did.
I know. If there's nothing else, is there a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting? Trustee Rosen Asher, second. Trustee Rosenberg, second.
Hey, look, I have it.
All in favor? That passes unanimous.
Have a